Welcome back to She Cultivates podcast, a space where we cultivate our best selves and community when it comes to personal growth, mindset, cultivating ourselves in so many areas of womanhood. And I'm your host, Elizabeth Savillon, and I'm so grateful that you are here with us today. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. All of that helps us to grow, and I'm just so thankful for your support, for your reviews, for your shares, because this is all content that I love to make, but it's also hearing back from you guys means so much. I'm here at High Hello Labs in downtown Orlando in this beautiful studio space. And if you haven't already, make sure to check them out because they have amazing content, can help you start your podcast, create content for you. And that has been such a great part of my process here at High Hello Labs. And also Chris, which he is my sound engineer, producer, which he has helped me so much within my process here. And so I'm super grateful for that because a huge part of what we do like as women, as we're having our goals and our dreams, is like the people that you have around you, the community, the support, because you cannot do it alone. And a space for you to find your community is She Cultivates Orlando. And so our She Cultivates Orlando, we have an April event that's coming up that's all about cultivating within ourselves. And so if you are in Orlando, we'll be having a conversation when it comes to hormones, women's health, mental health, the way that we see ourselves as women, how we manage stress. And right now it's skyrocketing the numbers of how many women have like autoimmune conditions, just stress related or hormone in regulation. And so this conversation and this panel is going to be so powerful because being around women that get it, that understand, and seeing the holistic approach when it comes to wellness. And so I'm so excited because this event is on Saturday, April 19th from 4 to 7, and we'll be having wellness vendors, we'll be having a Pilates class. And if you buy your ticket this week, you will have a special promo code, which is in the show notes below. And I'm just really excited for all the exciting things that we have for She Cultivates, the event and everything. And I just love the community that we're building here. And we hope to expand and do some exciting things this year. So for this week's episode, I wanted to share about finding your purpose or what that looks like. When I think about cultivating our best selves, I think about all the areas, right, that we have goals and dreams. And what is the biggest question that we ask ourselves? It's like, what is my purpose? Like, what am I meant to do? And I know in my teens and 20s, it was a lot of like, okay, do I go this way? Do I do this? Do I really enjoy this. And so should I pursue that as my career? Is this just something that I do for fun? And I think that's always ever changing, right? Like maybe like our interest. But I think when it comes to purpose, like we are all made for a purpose. We all have a purpose. There's something within you that is God has put in your heart that you have, that you may be a pain point or an area that you're like, man, like I wish that I can do more of this. Like this is what sparks joy in my life. Or this is like the area that I feel like so fulfilled doing. And my purpose came out of my things that I worked through, things that I remember like in college, I always loved to bring women together. So like I did a tea party. And so we brought women together to learn from other people about education, about confidence, about leadership. And I remember just enjoying that, like bringing women together, having those conversations. I've always been someone that enjoyed meaningful conversations and just getting to know the inner parts of someone about like the deeper than like, how are you? It's like, how are you really? And through those conversations, like that's what led to other interests that I had, and I loved bringing people together, but also having conversations. And I'm like, okay, how does this work? And then I started doing like marketing and like events and doing all of that in a different capacity. But I always love to just share my experiences. And so I found that like my purpose has come out of my own pain, but also my areas that I can encourage other people, things that I've walked through. And so if you are someone that maybe doesn't know like what that looks like, it's like maybe evaluating, like sitting with God and being like, okay, God, like what is it that sparks that part of me? Like, what is it within my heart that I feel either the pain or the joy? And what are gifts that I have? Like, maybe you're very organized. Maybe you love being creative. Maybe you are someone that naturally is so well spoken, or you love to bring people together, or you just love being like more by yourself. There's so many things about each of us that are unique. And I think that us writing that down and being like, okay, like an inventory of like, these are the things that I'm good at, these are some skills that I have, these are some areas of interest, and how that looks like. I know that sometimes purpose, or like our calling, as they say it, like in church, it's like, it's such a big thing. And it's like, okay, what is like my purpose in this world? But I think that there's just little things that we're all meant to do, and they all look different in different times of our life, and we all have things that we can do well, and we can impact people in the areas that we're in. And it's along the process, right? Like, it's not like, I remember my early 20s, it was like, okay, well, I know one day maybe I want to do like TV, right? Or I want to be like a host somewhere. Like, I want to like host for awards and all of these things. And I remember doing small things that I wasn't doing that, but it's like everything has brought me closer to that, and throughout my process, I met so many people. Like, I connected with so many people. I had so many amazing experiences. And I think that's what matters. It's like you intentionally being like, okay, how do I want to live out my life? And like, how do I want that to look like, and cultivate is a huge word for us here when it comes to doing the hard work, looking within yourself. And I would say that in the past few years, it has been that part. It has been about cultivating those areas and refining and learning, and, trying to be better in certain areas than I was in the past, And so through my own journey, that's how I feel like my purpose has come through, and I still think I'm like figuring that out. I don't think I'm like, okay, this is what I'm called to do and like all of that. But I definitely feel like there's that little spark when I'm around doing events or speaking to women, or bringing or having those meaningful conversations, or listening to someone share their story. Like, those are like those little, like, like I would say like glimmers, like, those little good moments that you're like, wow, like I love this, and you kind of take it in. So whatever that looks like for you, like God has made you in that way and has put that in your heart for a reason. And so go after those things. And it might be a process. You might be in a job or a place that you're like, I know this is not my purpose. And that part, though, is still very important to your journey, because every little part is getting you closer to that, And so sometimes we lose sight within when we feel stuck, or we're like, oh, I hate it here. Like, this is not what I know I need to be doing. Like, I feel like stuck. And so that's when I feel like you should evaluate, like, okay, where am I at? Where do I see myself being? What do I need to learn, or who do I need to get around to get closer to the dreams that God has put in my heart? I feel like a huge part of it too is just trusting that, like, you taking a leap, or you investing in something, or investing in a course, or investing in some kind of like mentorship sometimes is necessary to get you to that place, because I know in my life and my walk, there has been key people, and I will always say this, like, I did not get here by myself. There were so many key people in my life that believed in me before I ever believed in myself, that spoke life into me before I believed in myself, that put me in rooms that I was like, what am I doing here? But they exposed me to things that they saw. And so I hope to be that for other people, and those are people that are key in your story that will help you get there, but it's all part of the process, and there will be, derails, or, other curves, or like just things that maybe feel a little discouraging along the way. But I would say that that has always helped me to like realign that. And when it comes to your purpose too, I think like we have gifts, right? And we have things that maybe we're good at, but it's also who you are as a person, of your character, being someone of integrity, having values, like what your mindset is, despite what you might get confronted with, because a huge part also of your purpose, when you're someone that's like, okay, I want to maybe help someone, or I want to do something that's meaningful, we all feel like we maybe want to do what we enjoy, but I think when you do things well, like things align, but when you try to take shortcuts, or you try to like, be like, okay, you know what, like I'm going to do this because it's popular. I feel like that just is going to maybe derail you towards where God has called you to do, or like what you're doing, because it's not aligning with the values that you have. So I feel like redefining what are your values, what is important to you, sticking to that, even when you get the little shiny things that are like, this is a shortcut over here. It's like, do not do it. And I've had multiple people along the way that have come into my life that I always ask for discernment. And I always ask for like, okay, what is this the right way? Like, this looks great, but is that going to get me closer to where I'm going? Or is this just a distraction? Is this something that's going to gear me way away from where I'm going, what I'm doing? And so I feel like when it comes to what God has called you to do and your purpose, it's spending time with Him, being in alignment, checking in with yourself, and then having the right people around you that sometimes will challenge certain things, but also always support and believe the things that you want to do. The best advice that I've always received when it comes to that, it's get around people that are where you want to be, not where you have been. So where you want to be, having those people that are like, I don't know, that they just see what's capable in life is so important, that they challenge you to think bigger. I had a conversation the other day with a friend about like purpose and like, okay, when do you need to maybe like get someone else to be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, honestly, it's kind of humbling to go to someone and be like, all right, I kind of don't know, like I feel like a little stuck, or I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Like, can you guide me, or like, can you give me some advice on this? But those are moments that someone else can pour into you and lead you or connect you with someone. And so that vulnerability that comes with that is very important. And that also leads to the relationships that you're building throughout your process. Wherever you're at, it's like trying to make an impact, leave like an impact, and treat people kindly and be someone of integrity, and like be someone that it's not perfect, but that people, when you're around, that they look forward to seeing you versus not. Because a lot of that too, it's like the connections that you make, it's beyond transactional. It's the connections and the relationships that can help you get to where you want to be. So purpose is the big picture, right? It's like, okay, what is God calling me to do? Why am I doing? But you have purpose and you have a calling in whatever space you're in. It's definitely doesn't have to be at the church. It's the way that you live your life, the way that you interact with people. It's how you can check in with yourself and be like, okay, like, am I being selfish? Is this aligning with where I'm going, or saying sorry when you make mistakes, to other people, or, mending certain relationships in the process. But it takes time. And in our 20s and 30s, it's a lot of that. And I'm turning 30 this year, which I had mentioned before. And that is kind of where I feel confident in certain areas that I'm like, okay, like I feel like I've overcome some things, but I'm still learning, And I'm also still excited for what's to come and the areas that I know God will continue to open doors, and continue to help me to be the light wherever I go, and be able to share certain things like this. So if you are in that season of that you feel a little stuck, or you're like, okay, what does this look like for me? Take some time to pause, think about what that list is. Like, what are the areas that you enjoy? What are areas that maybe spark interest? Maybe it's starting all over again. And I'm telling you this from personal experience. You are never too late to start anything. You are never too late to learn anything, because time is going to pass anyways. And so it's what you do with that time. And the 1 year that you feel like is a setback year can set you up for the rest of your life. So be encouraged to know that all of this is part of the process. And if you need certain encouragements, it's reaching out to those people and saying, okay, this is where I'm at. What do I need to do to get there? And trusting that God has a plan and a purpose for you. So I hope you feel encouraged from this episode. And if you enjoyed it or you got something out of it, make sure to share it on social media. Let us know what you think. And just know that you are not alone in your process, in your journey of cultivating our best selves, which looks very different in different seasons. And so thank you so much. And I will see you guys if you want exclusive content on our Patreon, which we are launching. We are so excited about, to offer value, extra episodes for you, Q&As and different things like that, from even podcast episodes that we do here with experts. And so make sure to check that out in the show notes below. Subscribe, let us know what you're loving, and I'll see you guys next week.